Hello everyone, Tawampa is very cold and forgot where he put his water. And by that I mean Katawa Shoujo. Last time, my voice went to shreds. This time, let's hope that doesn't happen. What else happened last time? Well, we met the rest of the girls. We met our last girl that we can romance. Rin. Oh, there's my telephone. I'm reading some of this stuff off a guide, which is why sometimes I stall when I get to decisions. Because this game doesn't really hold up to very quick, repeated, sessions. There's a long preamble before we start going down the paths. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just prefer not to do it. I don't want to do it again. And we're only doing one playthrough. So let's get that open. And let's start up, boys. We were gonna help Rin do some stuff. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clank. But, being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure, where do you need me to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now. With Shizune and Misha gone, so we too leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps I have to change the can from one arm to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too fast or too slow, and I can't figure out which is which. Two flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai. What a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods, courteously, to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me, because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively, because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. This feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want for you is to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. You can see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too, teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital, everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural at a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school and both student base and faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least, that's the feeling I'm getting. This is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. I didn't say anything. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring, gosh, my nose is itchy, gives me the feeling that I shouldn't have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up the can and lift it a few times, like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder. Even though it's weighing weighing down my arms painfully. Stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder and starts invading my personal space, without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise that you'll be more serious about this from now on? Here's the thing. I guess I should say maybe. Maybe, no, I mean, gives me a nasty sort of look when I say that, making me try to take back the word. I mean, I don't know, I'm still trying to get used to school. I promise I'll try, though. You're not being very convincing there, Hisao. Tip number 1, medical professionals are not amused if you take their advice lightly. What's up with him? As if a day or two could make that much of a difference. I didn't do anything at the hospital either. Yeah, okay, sorry. He studies me for a moment, and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms, offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too, talking about that sort of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. Feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings out about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building and Ren leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably one of the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of this sort of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. I'm guessing they're talking about the one where the text box is. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall. But some places look a little bit more finished. There are human faces, legs, and hands. I can't say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arm or whatever there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton sleeve flaps around and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago, and just keeps on gibbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why'd all hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some sort of statement that makes sense. I think it's best she start from the top. So this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, and I've walked straight into a minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us had anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, you know, flat, like some people are no substance, no meat, where there should be some. Oh, I know a few girls who... Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell, I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms, so I really don't have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders, saying, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky, as if she were trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd actually get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little bit before it gets too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Ren sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big product that they need every pair of hands available. Well, maybe they should have thought about that before betraying our current quarry. Quarry? Makes it still kind of sounds weird. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that, probably. Do you have motor control problems, like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I opened a few of the oh no. Excuse me. I opened a few of the cans and poured some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirling patterns that quickly melt into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone, this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she's satisfied, but her abstractions are obtuse at best. Oh, obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down and pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. Oh, so she goes to the Rachel Ray form of painting, I guess. The joke here is that Rachel Ray doesn't actually count her, like, doesn't actually measure her things out. Because she can't. I don't know if that's true or not. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea, you're the artist here. A hint of a smile appears at the corners of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but now can't remember it. Are you a synesthesian? Synesthetic? A person who mixes their senses. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I can find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. But her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall, adding new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from few words, when discussing paint mixes, neither of us say a word for the longest time. And those short discussions soon evolve into shorthand, both of us developing a weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. Oh hey, the painting got more done. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. I hope I don't get jumped by Kenji again. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into an unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blankets for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock has still not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away with it that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercise as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued a real gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. Can't use them for that anymore, so they can get a new life this way. A bit like me. Seems a bit stupid, really, but I suppose that at least this way I can tell the nurse honestly that I'm doing something about my health. Not that I was ever much of a runner to begin with. Can't hurt, I guess. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. A prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? Emmy. It was short. It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early. Maybe it's something akin to mine? And the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog like he is oppressing me? Nope. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and his prompting me to do so. You do know that other people have interests that don't align with yours, right, Hisao? And even with things like being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it appears my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning. Your name is Hisa, right? The girl seemingly pleased that she remembered my name. You may not remember me. I'm Emmy. Emmy? I knocked you over in the hall yesterday? We ran into each other? How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that, again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit out of it, I suppose I'll be fine. Great. I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right. Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What, are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? That's Kenji's thing, alright? Don't ask me. No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No. No, nya. I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who kinda looks like he's lost around the track. So why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track. Ah, I see. So you're on the track team then. Emmy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners, too. And modest about it, too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know. Oh god, what's becoming her voice? I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure I like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know. It's true. I never really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see, not into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess you'll have to go running together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up? Oh, no, you should always warm up. Bad Hisao. Naughty. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and starts invading my personal space. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, and I don't even stretch my legs. Ha, 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 ha. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Let's go. So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly. That's a pretty nice little background noise. Fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating on running properly. Frankly, I don't remember if there's any particular form of running, but I can't help to feel like I'm doing it wrong somehow. I feel awkward in comparison to Emmy, who never breaks stride. I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running, and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time you just have to try to hold out longer and then longer and then longer and longer. And eventually you'll be great. Like literally a Usain Bolt of arrhythmia. I'll keep that in mind. Also, who told you I have arrhythmia? But I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. Oops. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao. See ya. Apart from feeling more tired than before, I don't think I accomplished anything today. I'm so out of shape it's embarrassing. The whole thing might have been a waste of time. I'll find some other way. I head back to the dorms and to wash and change my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind. But I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off, get out of the start, put on my clothes. Uh-oh. There's a shadowy figure. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears from the mist, and radiating malicious intent, it bursts through the fog. Ah, delightful. Fig leaf. Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared the hell out of me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean, all over the place? I want to ask if he's looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't really seem to notice. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe the fog off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? You know your room and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? Puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as a window pane sized glass. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money? Sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Can't you just give it to me? Because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I mean, I could have, but I exercise restraint. And in the end, isn't the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold my payment since his thoughts were so clearly impure and his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if that is your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza, but I need your help for the rest. I get some of the pizza too, right? No. Are you serious? Yeah. I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone else will see you and the pizza, and they'll ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before, that's how I know. Every day I plan my vengeance so that when the people who wronged me order a pizza, I will be there. Ever vigilant. Kenji strikes a dramatic close, completely without irony and completely without clothes. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Come on, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning in advance. I was outside, I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Standing? Maybe wondering how I got there. And then, out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky, like how you split a sandwich in 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment in my life. What was the first? He ignores me, keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely that he just didn't hear me. It was like in the openings of some kind of anime show. You know, how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's a dramatic, huge different colored auras and zoom. It's just like that, but with poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money, please. Come on, I only need like 1,000 yen. I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. Ah! Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow. A particularly disturbing fact, given that his baton is conducting freely. You're not supposed to be so tight-ass without money between brothers in arms, man. Been having bad enough as is. Oh shit, he's red-pilled. Did you know that only male porn stars make about half of what female porn stars make? That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe I am a porn star on the struggling side to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. And you can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? The feminist agenda stuff again? This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. You take them out, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. Men are natural stabbers, of course. We have our own knives. I thought you just said don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for big things individually. They're not a threat, but if there was some kind of war, like a big war with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other, it would get pretty ugly. And that day will come, when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers." You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? Probably Portland, Oregon. I mean, it'd have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with only women in it. Who said it was on Earth? Kenji just blew it wide open. Women are from Venus, after all. I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown would be the best to express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyways. Which is unfortunate, because that means he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on, a war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides, and we will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it. Bloody battlefield. A vicious conflict without any end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I took the time and the power to Went out for a feminist raid. Thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew I had to get serious, because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. So can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked. And I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money. Awesome, dude. Thanks. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes, or the pastel green with the flower accents? They're bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you'd better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff, right? I don't have time to ask him to elaborate on what he means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in my way. Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't mean to hold you up. And I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. The time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time really has come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to, and what does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So, I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him practice frown, and it looks kind of silly, reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway. So I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an entire eternity has passed since I woke up. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts to make me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a time as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway. Lily's tall figure, hey Lily, appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako? Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she's a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of some importance to look prim when entering our room. Excuse me. She calls into the quiet room, probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Hisao. Good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely if I were to tell a big lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh. Have you seen Hanako today, by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bell rings, or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, at least. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute, Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Hi! Oh god, it's Misha. Misha pops into the room and with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, He-chan. Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha or Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? No, I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answer to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realize Lily might not actually know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is. To know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she might be talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune to be the one who actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decide to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here earlier than us. Misha puffs out her chest, angrily. Why is she getting so angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf, too? It's not that weird, though. Shizune didn't like my comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them. So me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing the tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days. Every other class has handed in their project budget reports for their events. Even the first years, except you. There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today is the deadline. The deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale was not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class and the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Oh man, they're just going at it. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands straight up. Wow, she's really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look very amused though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao. It's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think that I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then can I have it, please? Shizune, she may not have it on her this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's effort to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, and now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. I love a good catfight. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it. being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for being sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. And she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, they don't live here at the school. That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of the two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something so simple. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Sorry. I was just thinking about Lily's chest. Shizune, that's a terrible joke. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint of sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other either. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Oh God. I was actually planning on just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. It's not hard to guess which one you might represent. This is so good. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. Is that a panty shot? Come on. They can't disguise it anymore. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes off smoothly than this person. Hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack, alright? I think, though. Yes, okay, delightful. Well, guys, we're gonna let him have it next episode. Until then, stay safe, have fun. Remember to file your taxes, because that's kind of like a budgetary thing. Otherwise, you'll get locked up by the IRS. And, one of those things is more important than the others. Bye!